welcome to my first haul video. So I have bought a few different books over the last couple of months really. They weren't just this month, that I've not really shown. I've not used them yet, so I thought it might be quite good to just kind of quickly go through, show you what I've got, see if there's something you might be interested in. And yeah, so they're from different places, so I've kind of organised them into different places. First one, as you may guess if you know already about these books, is Aliexpress. So I think these come in a set of 3. I think they're in those 3 together. And I've done, as I'm sure you probably remember if you've seen my videos before, I've done one of these already, worked in, but I got the 3, and then I got the little separate one that kind of has, I'm too old to know about Pokemon, but I kind of get the impression it's kind of that style, so I've got that one as well. That I quite like them, they're quite fun, they're quite quick because they're small. And then I've got 3 other ones. 2 are Decomade books, and they're beautiful, really beautiful cultural kind of images really. So you've got beautiful girls in various costumes, some really beautiful outfits, and I think that's really one of the reasons I decided to get this book really, that it's so lovely. It helps if you can see it all, doesn't it really? So beautiful imagery. So I've got one of these ones. Paper I think is pretty good really, considering I've got these from Aliexpress. I was quite impressed. The second one, I think the second one is Time Traveller. It's really pretty covers, front and back are printed on the Time Traveller one, and then it has this kind of fold out cover on it as well that goes both ways. It did come with a little pamphlet that shows you quite a few printed versions of the artwork that's in the book. It kind of is slightly terrifying looking through this lovely book. Am I going to get my images to look like these? Probably not, but it's really nice to see how somebody else imagined these drawings to look really. Thought that was really quite nice. The paper in this one I don't think is quite as nice. It's definitely much yellower, my copy. I don't know if it's just my copy, but hopefully you can see the difference between there, but yeah, much more yellow, and I think it feels a little bit thinner than the other one that I have. But I really like the drawings. These are more complicated, I think, when you look through this second one, the Time Traveller one. But I really like all these fabric layers and different bits and pieces that go on in some of the designs. But they are kind of A4 size, super detailed, some of these. I don't know if I'm ever going to do this justice. They're so small, some of the bits on here, but really beautiful drawings, and really complicated imagery. And obviously you can check with the little pamphlet to give an idea of what you should be trying to aim for with them. But I really love the costumes in them. I just think it's really beautiful. So I was really pleased with those 2, and they did arrive pretty much in good nick. There's a bit of a dinge in the cover of this one, but it's not really transferred too badly into the actual paper, so I kind of will live with that one. This one was a pure guess really. I was buying those ones, and this one kind of came up as a suggested because I'd looked at those. It's called The Freebird Kingdom. I've had a look. I've no clue who has illustrated this. This one, however, as you can pretty much see, has come in pretty bad nick. It's really bent. It's got nicks out of it. It's really bent through top and bottom, but the bottom is worse. I was kind of hoping if it had been in the bookshelf it would flatten out a bit, but because the bend goes all the way through the book, it doesn't seem to be. But considering it was a complete blind buy, you couldn't really see what was in it. I really like it. It's a beautiful book. The illustrations in it are just absolutely spectacular. There's some really beautiful drawings in it. So it's a guidebook rather than a colouring book. So it gives you, if I find the beginning of this particular drawing, it gives you the drawing, which I was thinking, looking through it, I might photocopy and enlarge a bit and put some nice paper. It gives you the colour palette, and then it pretty much steps you through each of the stages on how you go about colouring each of the little sections in the drawing to get it up to the standard that the finished artist has got it. And it goes through that on quite a lot of different drawings, all beautiful bird drawings and flower work in them. Obviously there's a lot of different books that have birds in and feathers and things like that, and I've tackled feathers a few times, but I'm not going to say that I'm really super confident using them. So I thought, actually, when I opened it and saw just what it was about, even though it's a bit damaged, it's definitely a keeper for me. I just think the drawings in them are beautiful, and the way the colour's been applied, I just think I might learn something from it. So I definitely am going to try and do a bit more with it and see if I can have a go at some of the samples that are in there. But really beautiful book. Just such a shame they can't put a bit of card or something in just to protect books a little bit more. This one's just, yeah, so badly damaged on the end, but still beautiful book. And obviously because it's from Aliexpress, it is considerably cheaper than you would pay somewhere else. Okay, so my next pile is all from Amazon Japan, and some of these I'm sure most people are pretty familiar with, the Forest Girl books. I hadn't got any of these Forest Girl books, so this was one of the main reasons I was ordering from Amazon Japan, really. I think they are a little bit more available now. I think Book Depository's had some, I think Amazon briefly had some copies as well, but when I was ordering mine, I couldn't see any on the UK sites then. Out of the two I've got, I think I'm preferring the red one. I'm finding the images, the pre-printed, the ones the artists have done, are quite a good size, and the print is really quite strong in the red copy, whereas when you have a look at the other one, the size is much smaller, and when you're trying to look at the detail of, you know, what's going on this palm leaf or something, you can't really see it on that one, whereas these are, oops, bits going everywhere, these are much clearer, and it's much easier to see light and shade and what's actually happening a little bit. I don't know if I'll do them exactly the same as the coloured images, but I just felt when I was looking through this one, I think I did look through this one first, I thought, oh, some of these, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I can't really see what colours they've used. I think even if they just printed a little colour palette like they had in that bird book, even that would have helped with the smaller images. But yeah, there's some beautiful images in this book, in both of them. They're really lovely, by both Aleppo books. But yeah, really lovely, really glad. And then I got a few more from Amazon Japan as well. This one I'd seen on somebody's video, and I can't remember who now, but it's basically a fashion colouring book by Tomoko Tashiro, and it basically goes through fashion history over time, looking at different fashion styles. So it kind of goes from flapper fashion, Art Deco, through to all historical different styles of dress. So you've got kind of ballet bits and pieces, got a bit of flower work in them, but it goes through lots of different fashion styles, some of which are obviously quite dramatic and crazy, but I really quite like colouring clothing. I really like this Russian costumes. I think they are Russian traditional costumes, aren't they? But some really interesting garments, and I suppose it's a little bit different hairstyles. Love all this as well. Wouldn't fancy wearing it, but I think to colour it, yeah, quite fancy having a go at that. But yeah, some really interesting, unusual, and it kind of has bits of scenery on different pages as it goes. There's flowers obviously on a lot of pages as you've gone through, but yeah, I really quite liked that. So that one's a fashion colouring book. And then I got a couple more that kind of relate, I suppose, to Japanese culture. So as I was ordering from Amazon Japan, I wanted to have something that was a little bit more of a traditional Japanese style to it. So this is kind of a bit of a cross of both, really. It's the colouring book by Maria Kawahara. I think this is Maria Kawahara. And this one kind of uses old imagery, but in a modern way. So you get this kind of drawn page, but you have these silhouettes that kind of kick in on various different pages. So again, kind of old fashioned flower designs that you could see on a kimono, on some silk, but on modern garments. And you can again get a mix of both things, really. You get very traditional looking pages, and then you get these kind of traditional looking pages but with these silhouettes that kind of make it feel a little bit more modern. I think certainly if you enjoy flowers and birds, this is a lovely book. The paper is pretty good quality, really. It's a little bit smooth possibly, but I think it'll take a little bit of watercolour as long as you don't go mad. And I think, again, as long as you're not using alcohol markers or something like that, I think it shouldn't go through too much on it either. I think the paper does feel good quality, and I think there's a good mix of different kind of Japanese references in it. I thought it was a really beautiful book. Again, I've not started obviously doing any in it yet, but it's really lovely. So yeah, the colouring book by Maria, I've forgotten and I've closed the page, Kawahara. And then another two that were really just a bit of a punt, really. Ruby's Sweet Dream, I think I had seen on someone's page, but not recently. It's basically about the adventures of this little frog, and it goes through, or she goes through, lots of different scenes, some of which are scary, some of which are very busy, some of which are a little bit odd. You've got them kind of in different poses. But yeah, it's a cute little book, fun book. Again, a lot of flower, a lot of nature influences. I quite like these little villages that pop up, goes through on a double. I've not really opened this book, and it's not yet flattened enough to see it, but yeah, it's a fun little book. And this one, I think there was only 2 or 3 pages in this book that you could see on the website, and obviously I couldn't understand any of it on the website either, so it was a complete kind of, oh, will it be any good? Fantasy Season, I have no clue who it's by. I have tried to, oh, see, I have worked it out. I've no idea how you pronounce it. I'm not going to butcher that surname, sorry, whoever you are. But again, paper is pretty good in here. I think it's quite thick. Again, I think you get away with some watercolour as long as you don't go mad. You get these lovely little postcards and labels on the back. This is really thick cards on the back, so those you could definitely paint, no problem at all. And then the same, really, it's kind of going through lots of different scenes with the little characters. I don't love this one as much as the frog. I don't think I enjoy some of the drawing style. I think the scenery is really nice, but is that a frog? Is it a ghost? Is it a rabbit? I'm not sure. Is it something in a costume? Like this kind of looks like something in a rabbit costume. I don't know. It kind of feel like it leaves me guessing a little bit here and there for a bit of detail. And I think maybe out of all of them that I've just bought from Amazon Japan in this set, this is probably not my favourite of all of them. But some pages are really nice. I think some I will work on, definitely. Like, love a bit of Gingerbread House. Very nice. And this little surprise creatures here. See, there it is again, that kind of ghost rabbit thing. Don't know what it's about. And there's some nice winter scenes as well towards the front of the book, and Christmas ones that I probably will have a go at. So yeah, this one was a bit of a guess. I quite like it. It wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, but yeah, still a nice set of books anyway. And then this pair I've got from Decomade, from I think they're Polish. Again, really good service from them. If you want to go on their website, they're certainly worth a look. I've seen this, I think this book's been out for quite a while, but I think in the UK we've only really been able to get the Amazon printed version, and I didn't want that one. This is the Japanese version. Or is it Korean, looking at it actually? No, I think it is the Japanese version of Manic Botanic by Irina Vinnick. It's such a beautiful book, and I really am looking forward to doing some of the images in here. They're complicated, they're quite different from anything else I have, really. Even something like this, Creepy Bugs, it's just so beautifully drawn. Really interesting pages, complicated pages though. I don't think they're going to be an easy book to work through. It's certainly going to take a while. It's a pretty big sized book. It feels a little bit smaller than A4, but not much. And this version of it has come with these, oh, excuse the awful noise, has come with these postcards. Now these do feel like the watercolour paper, so I've got one with birds on, two with hares or rabbits, and then another one with sunflower and birds. And these are really beautiful, lovely thickness of card. So yeah, I'm quite looking for, I might actually have a go at one of those first, because they're A5 size, those. But yeah, really beautiful, very pleased. And then I haven't got anything by Karolina Kubikowski, and this is obviously the book with quite a few different artists, so I don't have anything by any of these artists, including Grazia Salvo. So I thought, well, maybe this is a good book as a trier. And this again is such a beautifully well made book, some great images. Again, there's lots of people flipping through it, so I'm sure you don't need to see my particular flip through of it. I think the only thing I think with Grazia Salvo is neck length, kind of how long is this lady's neck? It's a very elongated neck, and the same on quite a few of her images. I've noticed that the neck proportion doesn't seem to, I mean, it's very elegant. I think it does help, gives you a very elegant pose, but yeah, quite long necks on them. But I do love it. It's a beautiful book. I really like that one. Let me just pop through. It's almost like she's got a flower on her head. Oh, tulip, in fact. Helps if I read, doesn't it, really? But yeah, really beautiful book. Again, fantastic service from Decomade. Really, really nicely packaged. And then a little pack actually came today from Book Depository. I've ordered these Book Depository not quick. I ordered these quite a few weeks ago, and I wanted the first book by this artist whose name I don't know, but it really seems really hard to get hold of from here in the UK. I noticed it's on Japanese Coolcraft Books on Etsy, but I can't see it on anywhere else, and at the moment I'm not prepared to pay crazy Etsy shipping on top of a not cheap book. However, the second one I noticed was on Book Depository. I didn't know anything about the second one. I think his first one is about Snow White and fairy tales and things like that, so that was the one that I was really, really looking for. But I thought, oh, I'll give the second one a go. I had no kind of I think it's called this. I've had a look on his Instagram before I just came on, and it translates it when you translate his text as the Healing Essay Colouring Book, which seems a bit of an odd title for a book, so maybe that was totally wrong. I don't know. His Instagram is that though, Dom_Doming. There's some beautiful stuff on his Instagram. It's worth a look even if you're not interested in the book. But this book, I had no idea about what it's about. It's a beautiful hardcover book. I really like this cover image. I was, oh yeah, I want to colour that one. It's not in the book. These are what is in the book. You get a little thumbnail of each of the pieces, and then similar to the Aleppo books that we just had a look at, you get a coloured version of it, which I'm presuming is his painting, and then you get 2 copies of the image that you can work onto, and obviously maybe you can cut them out. I won't cut it out, that's sacrilege, but I'm thinking that's the idea, that you can give one away and you can keep one, and it goes through that all the way through the book. There's some very strange, very, very strange images in this book. You've got this girl that seems to be being throttled by seaweed. I don't know. Again, some kind of growth. I'm not sure. This one I was a bit confused by, because the girl is crying in the image, but it's pretty symmetrical. But here we seem to have lost the eye, and now her tears have taken over most of her face, and it's the same on both of them. So I don't know whether when I tackle it I'll draw her eye back in so that it's the same as the copy over there. Do you know? Not sure. But there are some really beautiful images. That I love this mermaid at the back. This one that's they kind of look like tulips, but obviously they're not because they're taking over the whole page. But there's some really Really beautiful images, and there's some quite strange images in them as well. You've got this lady that's got an entirely furry body having a cup of something, who knows. You've got this lady, which I was looking at this for a while earlier as what on earth is going on, and it kind of looks to me like this person has tied themselves up in their bedclothes, like you've had a really bad dream and been fighting with your sheets or something. I don't know, no idea. You've got a heart that looks like it's smoking. I don't know, there's some quite strange things in this book, but I like it. It's quirky, it's quite different. It certainly makes you question what's going on in the image. You've got this girl swimming with a fish in her beaker. I don't know. But yeah, some really interesting images. I quite like this. If you don't want to draw faces, this is a great book. Yeah, if you don't want to colour faces in, because it's okay, because your face is a clam with a pearl in it. So, but I really like this version of it. There's some beautiful watercolour work in all of this background that's going to be hard to do something similar. But yeah, it's a really interesting book, really good quality. I think what it's saying at the back, it looks to me like there's some little found items that you can spot in the pages, but they're not kind of so unusual that it ruins the image like some books are. And then you've got these, I don't know if they're bookmarks, they look like you're supposed to fold them in on themselves, but again, this is really quite good paper at the back that you can cut those little bits out. But it's a really good quality book, really nicely bound, beautiful. And then my other item from Book Depository is this Teresa Goodridge Enchanted Christmas. I hadn't got anything by Teresa Goodridge or anything really in that kind of style, and I don't have a huge amount of Christmas books, full stop. So I thought, well, this author is obviously shown a lot by lots of different people, so I think she's the one to get for some Christmas images. And I've had a good flick through this morning. I think there's some really beautiful Christmas images, although mermaid at Christmas, not quite sure. Mermaid needs some kind of seaweed tree, maybe, but it's the only one that I thought was a bit strange. But yeah, some really lovely traditional Christmas images that I thought would be quite fun to do around the time. I probably won't get loads of it done, but yeah, really like it. And then my last pile really is an Amazon pile, if I can get it out. So there's a few different ones in here. This one again came today, thankfully. Tiny Kingdom by Leila Alexandra. Amazon paper, unfortunately, but I did see a flick through. I think it was on Pixie's channel. She's done some beautiful finished ones in this book, but again, I really liked the images, really nice. You've got quite a few of these jars and containers containing quite natural things, but this I really like, quite enjoy. Anything with garments on, I'm interested, and nature and flowers, I always quite enjoy those. But again, some really nice imagery, and I think this was only £6 or something like that, which again, it'd be easy to photocopy this onto some better watercolour paper or media paper or something like that. So yeah, it's just a really nice little book. And then this one, I quite like a bit of steampunk. So again, pretty much a blind buy. Steampunk houses, there seem to be like a series of these. I think there's 2 more, and I think there's a pirate book by R.J. Hanson. I think the only criticism I have is that they are a little bit samey. So it's Amazon printed paper again. Oh yeah, there's these other books. So there's 2 pirates and steampunk robots, but I think there were more when I was actually looking at his page. But there are all these kind of wacky houses that have different kind of themes in mind. So it kind of tells you on the back what they are. So you've got jungle houses, Victorian steam house, water house. They go through quite a lot. I won't go through every page. I can do a flip if you really want to see every single house. But yeah, there's quite a lot. Again, it's an Amazon book. It wasn't a fortune, but I thought I probably won't do them all, but I quite like them. They're quite fun. And this is the starting one, the birdhouse. If you want to start on an easy one, that's a great one to start with. Inklings, again by Tanya Bond. I ain't got any of these. I'm sure lots of people have seen these already. I'll only very quickly go through these ones. But yeah, I just fancied having a go at some of these There's quite a few people have done some of her work really beautifully, so I've had a go at these. And then this was all one pack of stuff really that I got from Amazon UK as a set. So when I ordered this, I knew the colouring book was in here, but I wasn't really sure what the other book was that was with it. But I thought, well, they only had it as a double, so I thought I want the book, so I'm going to try it. Fine Colour by Goodridge. This is so beautiful, and I'm too scared to work in it. It has been sat on the shelf. I've looked through it many times because the artwork is just, well, it's tremendous. It's complicated, it's detailed. Sorry, the sun's shining a bit today. Thankfully, it's very nice. But such beautiful images. So I've got this book, which is a pretty chunky, thick book. You've got this little pamphlet-y thing that shows you lots of the work, which was great. You've got this kind of pull out, can't get hold of the end of it, that kind of shows a scene going all the way along. So I got that with it. This is kind of watercolour paper. I got a small version of the book with it that has the same images that are in the book, but on a much smaller scale. This paper is only pretty thin, but you know, it came with it. I'm not moaning at all. Be fine for colour pencils, just I don't think it'll take any water media. So I've got all of that. And then the other book that was with it is the actual artwork of all the images that are in the book. So, and again, it's so beautiful, this book. I don't like breaking the spine on it almost, really, but it's got so much beautiful versions of the images that are in some of his books. I think some of the back are from another book, but all these ones are from the one that I've just shown. So gives you all the beautiful pages that are in it, and just it's just stunning artwork. I don't know if I find it helpful or more terrifying, because you can see how beautiful they should be if you have the ability to do them correctly. But yeah, some of them are just so beautiful. They're moving, they're interesting. Yeah, so beautifully done. And it's so nice to have it with the colouring book. As much as the little pamphlet is great, you can obviously gives you a good idea of colour schemes and things like that. This really shows how it should look, if we're able. And if that wasn't enough, I also got this little free book. It's only a very thin little thing, but it's got little buildings from around the world. Some of them are a bit daft, some of them are quite doable. So yeah, so it was a really quite surprise package, these that all came from the same seller on Amazon, that I was really pleased with. To have all those with one, I was kind of just expecting those, and I didn't even know what this was, as well as all these bits and pieces. So yeah, it's worked really nicely. Will I ever work in it? I don't know. I do like looking through it. It's such a beautiful book just to peruse and nosy in. Yeah, really very impressed with it. But yeah, so that's my 1 or 2 book haul for, it wasn't just this month and last month really. I didn't film them last month. As you're probably aware, I'm only just starting out, and I'm only just figuring out how to even do this, so it wasn't something I'd thought of. But as I've got a few more that arrived today, I thought, why not film a few of them? People can have a nose. Maybe there's a book in that you don't know about that you might want to do. I will try and link some of them in the description. I've never done it before. It might be a disaster. If there's nothing there, I couldn't figure it out. Sorry. Anyway, hopefully there's something you liked. If not, I hope you're enjoying your colouring. Thank you very much for taking the time to have a nosy at my books. Bye bye.